Hi, my name is Alexandria Cook, and today I will be presenting 1.7, the Hive. I've called it Favus as the Latin term for hive or honeycomb. So that's kind of where I came up with that name, and I think it accurately describes this community. So I started off with some pretty simple shapes. I was specifically drawn to the curvilinear lines of the first top two. However, I felt like I really wanted something that was focused on connectivity. And so what I ended up doing was going with more of a hexagonal, polygonal shape. You can see how I started to come up with that in the second row here. And that is the hexagonal shape that I ended up going with. You can see in this image how I started putting those hexagonal shapes together. I really liked the look of the connectivity between the hexagonal links, and I really felt that this was the right direction to keep moving forward in. Here we can start to see how the roof and masses started to formulate. And I really was drawn to the angularity aspect of the roofing lines, and so we kind of went that route as well. Here you can see how they start to come together. A lot of repetition here, which I really liked and felt was an important part of the project. Once the massing was done, I started working on the interior iterations, mainly focusing on the center apiary and how both sides of the unit would connect, where the furniture would be. Really wanted to focus on an open concept. And you can see in these iterations how that open concept was kind of created, where it came from, and how it evolved. Here's the final mock-up of the floor plan. It's really focused on a centralized floor plan. It's very open. One challenge that I did run into was keeping the apiary separated from the rest of the house to prevent overheating. I didn't want people going in and out of the unit to get to the other side, so I ended up putting two hallways. I also wanted to really focus on the door and make that a focal point of the house, while also ensuring that it didn't overheat. So I put a pergola over that and pushed the door back. And as you can see, it ended up creating quite a fluid circulation within the unit. And I think it really worked out pretty well. Here are the two section elevations. You can see how the roof started to formulate, how the clustery started to formulate, letting in the right amount of light, how the windows and doors can be pushed aside. And by doing so, that allows the indoors to be brought, or the outdoors to be brought in. Here's a little bit more of the circulation and floor plan, showing how the mass interacts with the floor plan and how their programmatic needs meet each other. I really wanted to make sure that the windows didn't overheat the building. And so with this clustery, it really only allows light in. It diffuses the light in during the hottest hours of the day. And then as you can see in this next photo, it tracks along the wall in a really unique and beautiful way in the morning hours, letting in the right amount of light at the right time, when that side of the building is starting to be used more. So here we can see kind of how the furniture interacts with this layout. The tree in the center is just really the big focal point. The windows looking and bringing that light. The focal point is just really that center apiary and how they interact with the rest of the unit in the mass. Here's the site plan and how that started to develop. I really focused on the hexagonal patterns again. Really wanted to include the repetition and pattern programs into this. And so I did that by putting hexagonal chairs pretty uniformly in front of the units, and that kind of framed the units as well. And then I also have gardens throughout and a central playground that kids can play on, and that's in the center there. The gardens are intentionally separated and set up so that people can move around them and work in and out of them. There's trees peppered throughout very strategically, and you can see that in this plan here. And that helps promote the evapotranspiration and gives shade and beauty to the site. And here we can start to see how the pergola shadings create cool and unique shadows, how the trees would interact with the site, how the shading structures move the light across the ground plane. So they really just kind of interconnect and create a really unique space that I think helped create a community that really worked well in the end. So that's the end of my presentation. I really had a great time working on this, and thank you for watching.